Ever felt like you're always running on empty because you're too busy making sure everyone else's needs are met? It's as if you're the go-to person for everyone's problems. But when you need someone to fill your cup, there's no one around. Sounds familiar, right? This is where we uncover an ancient truth that's been around since the times of Stoicism, yet it's still incredibly relevant today. Stoicism isn't just about enduring pain or hardship. It's about finding the remarkable strength that comes from knowing when to say no, when to put yourself first, and how to genuinely support others without losing yourself in the process. It's about mastering the skill of not setting yourself on fire just to keep others warm. Intrigued? You should be, because today we're diving deep into how these ancient Stoic principles can transform the way you approach kindness, generosity, and self-care. So, if you've ever felt like you're giving too much of yourself away, or you're curious about how Stoicism can help you find a healthier balance, stay tuned. This one's for you. All I ask is that you don't skip any part of this video. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority. Consider yourself an exception. Now act like one and don't skip any part of the content. Imagine this. You're the person everyone relies on, the one who always says yes to every request, favor, and plea for help. It feels good, right? Being the go-to person, the one who fixes everything for everyone. But here's the twist. It's like you're giving away pieces of yourself bit by bit until one day you reach for something to give and find there's nothing left. Suddenly, when the tables turn and you're the one in need, you look around and realize you're standing alone. Why? Because you've given it all away. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism, imparted by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, becomes crucial. He always emphasized the importance of self-care. He believed that we cannot be of service to others if we do not first take care of ourselves. He would argue that our own well-being is the foundation upon which we can build our ability to help others. Without it, everything else collapses. Let's use the analogy of two neighbors with gardens to illustrate this point. One neighbor diligently tends to their own garden first, ensuring it's healthy and thriving. Because their garden is well maintained, they have an abundance to share with others. The other neighbor, however, is so busy tending to everyone else's gardens that they neglect their own. Over time, their garden becomes overgrown, wilted, and unproductive. The moral of the story: it's essential to take care of your own garden before you can effectively help others with theirs. This doesn't mean you shouldn't help others. Stoicism teaches us about balance and sustainability in our acts of kindness. It asks us to consider, is my help sustainable? Am I looking after my well-being as well? Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom reminds us that we have the choice and the power to say no when necessary to ensure that our acts of kindness are not at the expense of our own health and happiness. Plato, another luminary of Western philosophy, emphasized the importance of knowing oneself. In the context of being overly generous, knowing oneself means recognizing our limits and understanding that true help and kindness are only possible when we are in a position of strength, not depletion. And let's not forget Carl Jung, a titan of psychology who said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." This encourages us to look inward and ensure we are not dreaming away our energy on external demands at the expense of our inner well-being. The Stoics like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus were all about the purity of action, doing the right thing for its own sake, not for some reward or recognition. Seneca, in particular, had a lot to say about generosity. He believed that true generosity doesn't look for a pat on the back. It simply gives because it's the right thing to do. He said, "We should give as we would receive cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation." for there is no grace in a benefit that sticks to the fingers. Imagine giving just to see the joy on someone's face, with no hidden agenda or silent tally of who owes whom. This is the heart of Stoic generosity. It's about giving from a place of abundance of spirit, not necessarily material wealth. When we give hoping for something in return, we're not really giving, we're trading. And let's be honest, life's too rich and complex to be reduced to a mere transaction. This philosophy dovetails beautifully with what Aristotle talked about regarding virtues. He believed that true virtue lies in finding joy in virtuous acts themselves, not in the external rewards they might bring. This aligns perfectly with the Stoic view on generosity. It's about finding joy in the act of giving, in the knowledge that you've made a difference, however small, in someone else's life. Plato emphasized the importance of acting according to our highest ideals, regardless of the outcome. This approach to generosity means giving because it aligns with who we aspire to be, not because we're expecting a return. It's about being true to our ideals, about embodying the virtues we value most. And then there's the psychological angle, beautifully articulated by Carl Jung, who spoke about the shadow and the persona, the parts of ourselves we show to the world and those we keep hidden. Jung's work encourages us to integrate all parts of ourselves, which includes acknowledging the joy we find in giving without expectation. It's a profound act of self-integration and authenticity. Epictetus reminds us that we control our intentions and actions, but not their outcomes. So when we give, we do it from a place of control, choosing to be generous, choosing to offer kindness without a thought for what might come back to us. This is empowering. It shifts our focus from what the world owes us to what we can contribute to the world. So here's the thing. Giving without expecting anything back is not just noble, it's liberating. It frees us from the disappointment of unmet expectations and the bitterness of feeling used. It keeps our spirit of generosity alive and, well, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us. This doesn't drain us. It fills us up with the deep, enduring joy of having made a positive difference, no matter how small. In today's always-on, always-connected world, it feels like everyone wants a piece of us. Our time, our energy, our attention. It can get overwhelming. Stoicism, with its emphasis on personal virtue and inner peace, teaches us the vital importance of saying no. But let's be clear. This isn't about turning our backs on those in need. It's about safeguarding our own well-being so we can truly be of service to others. Consider the poignant story of a mother who, out of love and care, did everything for her daughter. While this might sound like the epitome of parental love, it had unintended consequences. The daughter never learned to navigate the world independently. It was only after her mother's death that she was compelled to stand on her own. This simple story illustrates a profound truth. Excessive assistance can hinder personal growth. The Stoics remind us that fostering independence in others is essential. By establishing boundaries, we're not being unfeeling or indifferent. Rather, we're encouraging those we care about to discover their own strength and resilience. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the significance of self-discipline and the wisdom in recognizing what is within our control. Applying his teachings to boundaries means understanding that while we can provide support, we cannot live others' lives for them. It's about finding a balance between aiding and enabling, ensuring our help is genuinely beneficial and not a hindrance to personal development. Seneca valued self-sufficiency and cautioned against dependency. By setting boundaries, we teach others to depend on their internal resources. Just as Seneca taught that true happiness arises from within and not from external circumstances or others' actions, Aristotle's concept of the golden mean, finding the virtuous middle ground between extremes, applies here. Regarding boundaries, it's about balancing our desire to help with the need to maintain our health and happiness. It's a form of practical wisdom, or phronesis, guiding us to make decisions that benefit both us and those we interact with. Plato's focus on the well-ordered soul, which harmonizes the parts of the self, is reflected in the act of setting boundaries. By defining what we will and will not accept, we create internal order, ensuring our rational, spirited, and appetitive aspects align. This inner harmony enables us to interact with the world more effectively and balanced. Carl Jung, from a depth psychology perspective, might suggest that setting boundaries is crucial for individuation, the process of becoming fully oneself. By delineating where we end and others begin, we protect our psychic energy and encourage others to embark on their self-discovery journey. A critical lesson many learn the hard way is the risk of being seen as always available, always ready to drop everything for others. This path can lead to feeling undervalued and taken for granted. It's like being the reliable old car that everyone expects to start every morning without considering the maintenance it needs. However, here's where transformation happens, a shift that Stoicism and its modern interpretations can guide us through beautifully. When we begin to set boundaries and assertively say no when necessary, we initiate a profound change. It's not just about refusing requests or denying help. It's about showing deep respect for our time and energy. Marcus Aurelius might see it as an act of self-respect. He famously stated, "It's not the actions of others that disturb us, but our judgments about those actions." In this context, deciding to set boundaries is a judgment that our peace and well-being are paramount. Seneca's wisdom complements the idea of setting boundaries. He taught that true freedom comes from within, from mastering oneself. By choosing when and how to say no, we exercise this freedom, demonstrating that our time and energy are ours to allocate, not subject to others' demands. Epictetus would likely remind us that we can't control how others perceive our actions, but we can control our actions themselves. Setting boundaries is an exercise in focusing on what's within our control, our actions and responses. Plato might view setting boundaries through his theory of forms, where the ideal form of helpfulness doesn't mean limitless availability. Instead, it's about offering help sustainably and respecting the helper's integrity and well-being. Carl Jung, from an analytical psychology perspective, might suggest that setting boundaries is vital for individuation, the process of becoming fully oneself. By marking out our limits, we define who we are concerning others, essential for psychological health and personal development. So, when we start to set boundaries, it's a declaration of our worth, telling the world, "I value my time and energy, and you should too." This act doesn't make us less helpful or caring. On the contrary, it allows us to offer help when it truly matters, without resentment or exhaustion clouding our intentions. It's about being respected, not just needed. This transformation isn't just liberating for us. It subtly teaches others to respect our time and energy. It's a lesson in mutual respect, a two-way street where our boundaries teach others how to interact with us in a way that honors our contributions and limits. Remember that setting boundaries is not a sign of weakness or selfishness. It's a powerful statement of self-respect and an essential step towards healthy, balanced relationships. By valuing our own time and energy, we teach others to value them too. This shift enhances our sense of self-worth and deepens the respect we receive from those around us. Let's carry this wisdom forward, embracing the strength from knowing and asserting our worth. So, after exploring Stoicism and its nuances of kindness, boundaries, and self-care, what essence remains? It's a profound realization that reshapes our actions and approach to life. Stoicism, with its ancient roots and timeless wisdom, isn't a call to retreat from the world or harden our hearts against others' needs. Instead, it's an invitation to engage more deeply and wisely with a clear understanding of our boundaries and commitment to inner peace. This philosophy teaches a rare balance in today's fast-paced, demanding world. It shows that true generosity isn't about giving until we're depleted. It's about giving in a way that enriches both the giver and the receiver. It's a sustainable generosity rooted in awareness of our needs and the genuine desire to meet others' needs. Living a Stoic life means navigating the delicate dance between caring for others and ourselves. It's recognizing that we can't pour from an empty cup, that our ability to be there for others hinges on how well we care for our well-being. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus understood that inner peace isn't a passive state but results from conscious, deliberate choices about how we engage with the world and set our limits. It's about finding joy in giving without tying our happiness to the outcomes or others' approval. Stoicism teaches us to find fulfillment in knowing we've acted according to our principles, contributing to the world true to our values and respecting our limitations. The most beautiful part is that living by these Stoic principles creates a ripple effect. Our life approach, grounded in wisdom and self-respect, becomes a model for others. We show it's possible to be kind without losing ourselves, to be generous without becoming martyrs. We inspire those around us to find their balance, protect their inner peace, and open their hearts to the world. So, the takeaway is a call to live boldly and compassionately, aware of our needs and others. It's an encouragement to set boundaries that allow us to be present and genuine in our kindness. Stoicism isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it fully, understanding what it means to live well. As we close this journey, remember Stoicism's path is not isolation but profound engagement with the world. It's about cultivating an inner sanctuary of peace from which we extend our kindness and generosity without losing ourselves. This wisdom, ancient yet vital today, invites us to live fully, balancing giving and preserving, being there for others, and honoring our needs. I invite you to explore the suggested video, which delves deeper into Stoic practices that can transform your life, offering insights and strategies for intentional living and joy. If this discussion resonates with you and ignites curiosity or recognition in your heart, I encourage you to like and share this video with your friends. Let's spread the wisdom of Stoicism, empowering others to recognize their worth and pursue happiness with courage and conviction. Thank you for joining Stoic Sage Wisdom today.